Live from the CBS Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, this is CBS2 News at 11 p.m.
Caught on camera, a confrontation between a CHP officer and a biker during a memorial ride. The biker sent to jail, his family suing. CBS 2's Chris Holstrom is live in the newsroom with more on what happened.
Suzanne and Crystal, this video getting a lot of traction on social media, and it's not the attention this group wants. The ride was meant to honor their fallen brothers, but today it took a turn. Cell phone video showing a glimpse of the Fallen Brothers Memorial Ride. In it, you see bikers waiting at a red light in Rancho Cucamonga, when all of a sudden you hear police sirens. Watch as they get further in the distance. The CHP cruiser pulls further to the right, knocking the rider off his bike. Jose Figueroa was there. He says the biker in the video was riding in a pack and was having issues with the officer, saying he was being aggressive toward him.
He panicked, Our brother panicked and, he got out the way and, sped up, tried to get out the way, and the cop chased him. And, we pulled up to the liquor store, and that's when he rammed them. In the video, the bikers rush over to their friend. At this point, he's already handcuffed by a CHP officer.
You pushed him! You pushed him down! You dropped him down with your bike, and I have it on camera!
Desiree Garcia is the biker's wife.
From what I saw from the video, I seen my husband's brake light going on, and it looked like he was trying to pull over, and the cop just hit him out of nowhere.
Her husband was taken to the hospital and then to jail, but she knows it could have been much worse.
Could have lost my husband. I don't know what I would have done.
The group now coming together and taking legal action against CHP.
A lot of people believe that the cop used excessive force. He shouldn't have done that. He should have done it in a more popular manner,
And a lot of people commenting on Facebook saying the biker should have pulled over. Well, I asked his friends about that. He says he was trying to pull over and in the beginning most likely did not hear him because of his helmet. Well, we also reached out to California Highway Patrol. They tell us they will release a statement tomorrow. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Chris. Grieving family and friends gathered tonight for a candlelight vigil in the Inland Empire for a well-liked college student.
CBS 2's Christy Fajardo tells us he was gunned down outside a party and the killer still on the loose.
Devon is in a better place.
In a Temecula park, the family of 18-year-old Devon Perkins does the only thing they can for him now, rallying his friends and telling his story. So his senseless murder in Menifee at a pre-graduation party seen here early Saturday morning won't go unsolved.
Right there. I've never seen a human get shot in my life. Thank you. I saw the bullet go right through his neck.
But on this night, the focus was on Perkins' life. His family says this turnout speaks to the love he engendered. His college roommate was in the crowd, so were lifelong friends. Funny, talented, and ambitious, Perkins skipped a year of high school and had just turned 18 and already finished his first year at Cal State Dominguez Hills. His sister, a junior at the same college, is now vowing to finish for both of them.
It's just really hard to know that there's people out there, but this world's not perfect. But I know that God gained a new angel early yesterday morning.
For this mostly young crowd, the death is heartbreaking and confusing. They now know even the best lives filled with love and good deeds can be cut short for no reason. And even the adults at the vigil are struggling with that lesson.
I'm still confused. I'm baffled. I'm overwhelmed. I'm trying to cope, and I'm trying to be strong for my family.
There were reportedly about 150 people at the party where Perkins was shot, and with so many potential witnesses, the family believes it's just a matter of time before the shooter is identified. In fact, they tell us detectives have already received several tips. In Temecula, Christy Fajardo, CBS 2 News.
Thank you, Christy. A developing story in Maryland. A state of emergency declared in Ellicott City, just outside Baltimore, as flash flooding washed cars down roads. Take a look at that. Several people were rescued from dangerous floodwaters. There are also reports of collapsed buildings. And have a look at this. It looks more like a raging river than a street. One man shot video of the water rushing by his door, you see right there. The National Weather Service warned that more flooding is expected as heavy rain pounds the Baltimore metro area.
And more developing news, subtropical storm Alberto is expected to make landfall tomorrow near the Florida Panhandle, and some areas like Panama City already are getting heavy rain. More than 50 million people are under a flood watch. A state of emergency have been declared in Florida, Mississippi, and Alabama.
Now this story, a canine officer hurt in the line of duty. The police dog was hit by a truck trying to catch two burglary suspects in Hemet. CBS 2's Greg Mills tells us what happened, and he has the latest on the dog's condition.
Duke is okay. This police canine is also a Hemet hero. Early this morning, security camera video shows Hemet police cars racing into the shopping center at Florida and Yale, responding to a burglary alarm at a business. Hemet PD says they saw the two burglars. One ran off with Duke giving chase. The other guy jumped into this gray truck.
Where some car screeching, you know what I'm saying, some glass. I don't know if a car hit something or if somebody hit somebody.
Both. The truck slammed into a police cruiser and hit Duke as he was chasing the suspect who ran away. This is Duke and his officer handler, Andrew Reynoso, from a recent canine competition where he took first place in the category Police Protection. This morning, he did just that. After he was hit by the truck, Duke jumped back up and not only caught the suspect he was chasing, that suspect was hospitalized due to the bite wounds from Duke. When the suspect driving the truck took aim at the police officer and Duke, that officer opened fire.
We heard like about a few shots at first.
That gray truck slammed into one police car. Officers opened fire again, hitting the driver.
Yeah, I heard, one person was saying, "Help me, help me." I don't know if that was a person that was on the ground or if it was the police.
That suspect was hospitalized with gunshot wounds. He's expected to survive. As for Duke, he was taken to the vet and treated for his wounds. And tonight, Duke is resting back home with his handler, doing okay. In Hemet, Greg Mills, CBS 2 News.
An arrest tonight following a deadly hit and run in Pasadena. 24-year-old Abibe Manuta was killed at Colorado and Sierra Madre Boulevards. Police say 34-year-old Robert Ibarra was driving a white SUV that slammed into the victim's black car. Witnesses ran to help the driver of the SUV first.
Witnesses did contact him to make sure that he was okay. At that time, he directed the attention of the witnesses to the driver of the black car, asked them to check on him.
When they did, police say Ibarra ran off. He was arrested, then taken to the hospital complaining of back pain.
A bad crash on the 91 freeway in Anaheim Hills sent 11 people to the hospital. Both fast-track lanes were blocked for a while, and that backed up traffic from Weir Canyon Road to Imperial Highway for hours. The cause of the crash is now under investigation.
And somber observances are taking place at Los Angeles National Cemetery this Memorial Day weekend.
Ready? Hey, fire!
Today, volunteers placed flowers on thousands of veterans' graves at the cemetery in West LA. Similar scenes are taking place nationwide as Americans commemorate the sacrifices members of the U.S. Armed Forces have made in various military conflicts. You can find a list of Memorial Day events on our website, cbsla.com. Just click Seen on TV.
President George H.W. Bush hospitalized tonight. We'll have the latest on his condition coming up.
Plus, a cry for help. How a woman being held captive by her boyfriend got away.
And a toddler dangling from a balcony. A brave young man scales a building to save him.
Temperatures in the Southland are going up, but for how long? I've got the answer for you coming up.